There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is.
Tonight, with COVID-19 cases on the rise, the CDC now shifting guidelines, calling on everyone to consider covering up.
The CDC is advising the use of non-medical cloth face covering as an additional voluntary public health measure. So this is voluntary. I don't think I'm going to be doing it.
The voluntary measure, a turn from early March, when masks were only recommended for the sick or immunocompromised.
The average American does not need to go out and buy a mask.
The new guidance stemming from recent studies showing people without symptoms play a bigger role in spreading COVID-19. If you can't buy a mask of your own, the CDC says something as simple as a t-shirt or even a bandana can still work. A couple quick folds towards the middle adds a layer of protection. Then slip a rubber band around each end, fold again, and you're set. Even if you don't have any symptoms, wearing this can keep others safe.
Face masks, these face masks are the most important, powerful public health tool we have. And I will continue to appeal for all Americans, all individuals in our country, to embrace these face coverings. I've said it, if we did it for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, we'd bring this pandemic under control. These actually, we have clear scientific evidence they work, and they are our best defense. I might even go so far as to say that this face mask is more guaranteed to protect me against COVID than when I take a COVID vaccine.
Leading doctors in America, including Trump's own CDC director and Dr. Fauci last week, said that if we just wore a mask, between now and the end of the year, we'd save 100,000 lives. Over the next few months, we could save 100,000 projected deaths, 100,000 lives. Folks, that's not a political statement. This is not a political statement. It's a patriotic duty, for God's sake. It's a patriotic duty, for God's sake.
Let's talk about this mask thing, because now the CDC says, I think I've got this right. 1 mask is better than 0 masks. 2 masks is better than 1 mask, but you don't have to have double masks.
The recommendation is not that you have to wear it. What the CDC is saying, that at minimum, wear a mask, okay? This is what they're saying. Make sure you wear a mask. So you wear a mask. Then you want it to fit better. So one of the ways you could do it, if you would like to, is put a cloth mask over, which actually here and here and here, where you could get leakage in, is much better contained.
Okay.
That's all they're saying. 1 mask at least, but if you want to really be sure, get a tighter fit with the second mask.
So wait a minute, are you a double masker, Dr. Fauci? It looked like you are.
Tonight, the CDC now saying no more masks for vaccinated Americans, both indoors and outdoors, even in crowds. There are exceptions, buses, planes, and hospitals. President Biden in the Rose Garden late today celebrating the news.
Fully vaccinated people are at a very, very low risk of getting COVID-19. Therefore, if you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask.
The White House says it'll distribute 400 million free N95 masks to protect against Omicron, and its website for free at-home COVID tests is live. The White House calling this the largest deployment of personal protective equipment in U.S. history. NBC News correspondent Heidi Prisbilla joins me now. So Heidi, let's start with those free N95 masks. How can people get them?
Allison, they will start shipping out from the federal stockpile late this week, and next week, individuals should expect to be able to pick them up at the same places where you get your shots, where you do your testing, which is pharmacies or community centers. There are still some questions, Allison, as to how many masks per person, but when I asked the White House COVID testing director how this is going to work, he said just there's not really priority groups. We'd like the elderly to, of course, get to the front of the line, but there's enough supply for everyone.
This morning, the Cabinet concluded that because of the extraordinary booster campaign, together with the way the public have responded to the Plan B measures, we can return to Plan A in England and allow Plan B regulations to expire. As a result, from the start of Thursday next week, mandatory certification will end. Organisations can, of course, choose to use the NHS COVID pass voluntarily, but we will end the compulsory use of COVID status certification in England. From now on, the government is no longer asking people to work from home. And having looked at the data carefully, the Cabinet concluded that once regulations lapse, the government will no longer mandate the wearing of face masks anywhere. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, from tomorrow we will no longer require face masks in classrooms, and the Department for Education will shortly remove national guidance on their use in communal areas. In the country at large, we will continue to suggest the use of face coverings in enclosed or crowded spaces, particularly when you come into contact with people you don't normally meet, but we will trust the judgment of the British people.